Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for agreeing to watch a video for us to try to explain to you our proposals for All Saints Mattishall. We're now just coming into the church, walking down the pathway towards the main door. This is the entrance from Church Plain. I will attempt to take you round the church as a rough tour first, just to show you the layout of the church, and then I will follow through each of the items that we intend to propose to you for the changes that we want to make. If you could have with you, for when we go through the various items, the instructions in front that are entitled Proposal for Addressing the Changes Required, and be able to follow through the instructions as we go round to be able to see each item in a bit more detail in front of you with measurements, etc. So let's go through the main door and into the church. As we come into the entrance here, this is the porchway on the south side of the church, and we come through the main door and into the main body of the church. At this point here we have a welcome desk where we usually have laid out with literature and various other items to give to people if mission details and anything that's going on in church. And we also obviously stand here in the mornings and welcome people in on a Sunday morning. As we move across, we come across the back of the church towards the font and a tower room there, which we'll go into in a moment, but let's do the main body of the church first. As we look round towards the doors and the archway at the other end there's a doorway through into a disabled toilet, and the door to the left is into the boiler room. So as we scan along the north aisle of the church, you can see the back of the north nave here. If I come back a bit, you can see where we have the sound desk, and over right into the north aisle there's a mobile refreshment area where we serve coffee and after church and for events. And as we look round into the nave, I will say obviously at the moment everything is rather disorganised. We have chairs laid out, spaced suitable for COVID regulations, so it's all a bit disorganised at the moment, and the pews have been taped off as we don't want people sitting close together. So as we glance round the whole area of the aisle there, and we come round to face the main chancel. And as we walk down the central aisle of the nave, items are covered because we're not meeting in here at the moment, and we still have bats around that make a terrible mess. Looking into the chancel, this is not normally a storage area, but at present we've stored the chairs there as we have nowhere else to put them at the moment, because we have the chairs so well spaced in the main body of the church. As we come back, you can see the side here of the rood screen and around the lectern, and as we come along the front we come to the entrance to the Lady Chapel or Side Chapel. It's referred to by both names. And as we walk through here, you can see again this area. We've tried to put screens to hide some of the things that we are storing. We have the big oak chest that is full of items as well. And we have tables, which is another issue that we need to consider for storage as well. And this area here is slightly separate from the church, being the chapel. So we do hope with our proposals to actually make this into a quiet prayer area, so it is actually used. So that's basically the coming round and back into the main body of the church. Walking back down the south aisle, and we'll come across to the centre and the main aisle in the nave, and look towards the back of the church where you see the bell ringing chamber, and below, which is a tower room, which used to be used as a children's area on a Sunday morning, but has now been overtaken with items that we have to store for events that we do. So as you can see, it is a little bit no more than almost a dumping ground for everything that we don't know where to put, and that all items that we use for our mums and toddlers group, and also our group on a Saturday morning who let the dads out, where dads come along with their children. The cupboards along here are all storage cupboards. They're all full, as well as the area up the top, and also all behind the curtains. Those were put in to try and stop the draft and to hide some of the equipment that is behind there. Behind the curtain, and also the cupboard space there is housing all of the electric units that we have, and the heating for the overhead heating, the switches for that. So that basically is our storage, and as we go through, we'll explain what we propose to do with this room. But just coming back into the main body of the church, hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea. If I just scan around the whole building, higher up, a beautiful church with a lot of space that could be used so much better than we have at the moment, and then looking out towards the main doors. So I'll finish there with the first preliminary tour.